I'm gonna put some dirt in
I'm gonna put some dirt in your eye, old man. I know he doesn't say old man, but
your eye. No, it's
oh,
actually
actually, I need to double
look
check
at
my
that. Watch
setup.
live the Average Intelligence podcast. Joe Rogan versus Sanjay Gupta, and we look a okay.
A-okay on the TV screen.
Yes, sir.
I've got all my fans down. My miners are running, making
I,
money.
I must say this is a nice change of pace for me because normally I have to set everything up, but tonight I get to just talk.
It took me 35 minutes to get set up.
Hey, you know what? You should have seen me trying to on down the middle. We now stream live on Twitch as well.
Yeah,
Holy fuck! You should have
Ben was telling me
fucking
that.
seen me trying. Yeah, you should have seen me trying to get that set up. Jesus,
Oh, I bet that was annoying.
that took a solid 45 minutes, but it was so stupid easy. I was literally making it more complicated than it was. I was bogerizing it.
Bogerizing. It's funny. Uh, so let's hop into
So did
this.
you? I think I asked you. You didn't watch the whole thing, but you saw highlights from it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I listened to the whole thing twice because I wanted it to be fresh. I wanted it to be fresh.
I mean, the guy he doesn't, I think he has a really hard job because, for one, he
Oh,
has to defend CNN. But at the same time, he's a
he
medical analyst. It's like, dude, just let it go.
Well, I think it's also important to understand that I believe he's a neurosurgeon. I know he deals with neurology. I believe he's a neurosurgeon. So infectious diseases aren't his specialty. Obviously, he knows medicine, obviously, but it's not like they're talking to an infectious disease
Expert.
specialist or an
He,
epidemiologist or someone who would be an expert in this field or even an evolutionary biologist like Brett Weinstein.
Weinstein.
Not Weinstein, damn it. It's Weinstein.
Don't give us a little switcheroony. Why is switching back to me?
Oh, because that's how it's set. That whoever's talking gets the big screen.
Oh, that's weird.
We can we can change it.
Oh, I know, I did.
We can we can change it
I'm gonna put some dirt in your eye.
just that. We need to somehow, some way make that a T-shirt.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Somehow. We're ripping off a line from the movie. I'm gonna rub some dirt in your eye.
Hey,
Hey.
I'm gonna rub some
Oh
dirt in your
God.
eye. Yeah. Anyway, this is fun. I think.
So yeah. Oh what? Oh God.
Oh God.
So yeah. You those of you that are listening on the audio only platform are missing. You're also gonna miss my cat joining us because he's being annoying.
You know what? I can't
What?
wait to go see a 3D movie. Shit flying at you.
It got me once.
Yeah, Jackass 3D did. There was shit flying everywhere. And when I say shit, I mean shit.
I just don't like 3D movies. The
Uh-oh.
glasses are annoying, and the wrong movie can give me a splitting headache in 3D.
A splitting headache. Hold on, I gotta fix something.
It's like the movie's rubbing some dirt in my eye.
It says I'm not receiving enough video to maintain smooth streaming.
Well, it appears we are. We appear to be fine.
I'm gonna rub some dirt in your eye.
We're gonna make that so stale.
Yeah, it's live, so it'll
Yeah,
work.
we're good.
All right.
Yes, this it was one of the more interesting podcasts. It was concerning. because the whole reason I wanted to listen was because of the whole CNN ivermectin controversy.
Yeah.
And Sanjay, Dr. Gupta, repeatedly tries to. First, he tried to say that they didn't say that, and Joe's like, dude, they said it. They said I was taking horse dewormer. And they did it gleefully. He's like, well, they didn't say it gleefully. He's like, I watched.
Yeah, and he's like literally just sitting there trying to say that, oh no, they didn't mean that. They didn't mean that. He's like, dude, they lied. He had to say that like a couple times to get it through to him. He's like, they lied.
And here's the thing. I understand why Sanjay didn't just say, yeah, they fucking lied. But it makes him come across. Where the fuck did you go?
Hold on. You're good. Just keep talking.
I just cut to a picture of a trampoline.
Oh, what the heck? I thought it was supposed to blur out the background.
Apparently not. Apparently it picks something and just, like Sanjay did, it just picked something and latched onto it. He spent an entire 3-hour conversation trying to get Joe to get vaccinated after Joe's already had COVID.
And the funny thing is, was it the CDC who came out and said that they stuck their foot in their mouth? They said if you actually got COVID, that the antibodies from getting COVID were more effective than the vaccine. Now, I'm not claiming that's real or true. Facebook.
I'm not sure if the CDC said it, but there have been multiple studies that suggested it.
Exactly.
And
studies.
To me it makes sense because this is pretty common, not across all viruses, but any one that I'm aware of.
Mm-hmm.
Like I don't know if I don't know if yellow fever works that way, but
measles. If you get the measles naturally, the natural immunity is much stronger than the vaccine. But
the vaccine immunity is pretty damn good too.
Yeah, exactly. It's fine, but like apples and oranges.
Well, but the difference is, so measles is a little bit of a motherfucker because, oh no, I'm sorry, I'm thinking chicken pox. Never mind. I'm wrong.
Which I've never had. When my kid, if my kids get them, I literally have to go stay in a hotel or stay away from them.
Or just get the fucking chicken pox.
No, I mean, like, literally, after a certain age, like, it can kill you.
Well, I believe after a certain age, it develops into shingles.
My dad got it when he was, like, 37 and, like, had to be hospitalized.
I bet that would be annoying as shit, though, even if you had a benign case, like a fairly tame case.
Right.
Just getting chicken pox as an adult would be awful.
I'm starting to wonder if our connection's even any good. Do you have video?
I shoot you.
I'm gonna put some dirt in your eye.
And apparently likes Friday the 13th in 3D. Okay. You can get a headache from the movie and from him putting a machete in your face. He's over there messing with the settings. I didn't see a problem at all.
I was getting continuous errors from YouTube, not all right, now
YouTube does that to us all the time, though. They want to silence us, damn it.
Well, I finally figured it out, and it's because of how my mining and everything like that. And then I'm also out in the garage, so therefore everything is you know, got to go through walls and shit like that. And there's a lot of metal out here because these new houses are filled with metal. I didn't hear a word you said.
Oh, I didn't say anything.
Oh, then that's good.
I didn't miss a thing.
Why is it saying there's not enough video? It's like, can you just say there's not enough speed internet?
I mean, I'm looking at the YouTube and you're not cutting out at all.
Okay. I don't know why I'm getting an error then. Okay. All right.
Anyway.
Jeez.
Anything stick out to you in particular?
His nose.
Wow.
No, I'm just kidding.
Wow. From lying so much?
I think it was huge. No, I'm just kidding. Well, from the tidbits I watched, he was trying his best to like convince Joe, like basically Stockholm syndrome per se. He was just trying to make him agree with him, and Joe wasn't having it. When he was talking about the horse dewormer, and then on top of that, when he was talking about the vaccine, he was just trying real hard to get Joe to fucking agree with him and be like, you should do this, or you, blah, blah, blah.
That's not Stockholm syndrome, dude.
Well, he's in love with his captor, CNN.
Oh, okay. In that sense,
You're missing you're missing my context, because I did not lay that out correctly.
yeah, I was lacking context. I was like, that's not Stockholm syndrome.
You weren't really lacking context. You were lacking fucking a good portion of the fucking what's coming out of my brain right now. And it did not come out. It did not come out right.
Yeah, we should get. And like I said, it's understandable that Sanjay Gupta would be beholden to CNN, but I mean, Joe called him out on a flat-out lie, and in the interest of understanding fully what happened, I went and looked up the clips. Yes, clips, plural, of people working for CNN saying that Joe Rogan was taking horse dewormer. And that's exactly how they said it. They said horse dewormer.
They did not say ivermectin for use with humans. They said horse dewormer, which it is used for it, but it's a different. It's probably different.
Different dosages, different concentrations. Yeah,
could have different stuff added to it.
There was one guest anchor who mentioned that ivermectin can be used in humans, but then they went on and said that Joe was taking the kind for horses. And Joe said it best, I can afford people medicine, motherfucker.
Yeah, that was great when he said, he's like, I can
that
afford
was hilarious.
People medicine.
I love that when he's like, and Sanjay tries to dismiss it at one point because Joe brings it up, and then Sanjay's like, man, you're really bothered by that. And then Joe's just like, you should be too.
You know what Sanjay seemed like in that whole little field thing? Like, he would be a powerful ally.
He was more like Admiral Piet.
Another thing is, did you see the CNN headlines? I think it was CNN headlines. Maybe it was just news articles. How Gupta felt threatened. He said he was literally afraid of Joe, and I'm like, really? I was like, Joe's so non-threatening. He's just verbally like aggressive when he disagrees sometimes because he's passionate about it.
I don't think that's what he meant, because I did see it and I read it. I don't know what they were trying to do. I think they were trying to make it sound like Joe Rogan was intimidating him, but the whole time I'm like, you agreed to go on a show, dumbass.
Yeah. So it's
if you're so scared, what the fuck are you afraid of? You were invited and you said, yeah, okay. And then he spends the first part of it like not kissing Joe's ass, but saying like, yes, I listened to the podcast. But in this interview, Sanjay Gupta I got the sense he kind of reminded me of like some guy that's in middle management who doesn't really do anything and doesn't really know what he's doing, but he's gotten the job somehow and just kind of says a bunch of shit that doesn't really mean anything, but it sounds important. But if you know anything, it's just like, what the fuck is he saying?
Right. It's like he's a medical analyst.
It's kind of like when somebody gets on it's kind of like when somebody gets on a stage, like, okay, this is a funny story that's not related directly, but it proves my point. So, for those that know me, you know that I own a small business, and there was a period of time where my business partner kept wanting to go to these I don't really know how you call it, but like networking functions. But they always had some like really goofy guest speaker who's like not actually successful, but they claim to be successful. So, so we go to one of these, and I went for the free food. But it's this speaker who's a former college athlete, I believe, but he conveniently doesn't say what school he played for. So I think everybody. So this is an example of like you get what at an event like that you see what you want to see. Most people are like assuming, oh, he must have been a Division I like star player athlete, and I'm over here like, you were a star player. I think it was football. Don't quote me on that, but I think it was football. You were a star college football player, but you're not playing for the NFL, so you weren't top tier. You also are in real estate, which is kind of like where most people go after they fail at everything else, but still want to make money. That's not knocking people in real estate. I'm just saying a lot of people who failed upwards kind of end up in real estate. You're not telling anybody what school you played for, so I'm calling like Division IV. But he gets up there and is talking about ways to succeed, but it's all like on the nose obvious. Like at one point, I'll never forget, he actually says, one of the most important things to success is time management. It's like, oh, really? I had no idea.
Oh.
Let me guess. You gotta know how to manage money too, right? Oh, and you actually have to know what the fuck you're talking about? What the fuck? This idiot talked for 30 minutes and said nothing. Certainly nothing that nobody already knew. But then the best part was at the end, he's like, and if you'd like a copy of my book, they're over on the table there. Neglecting to mention that you had to buy the fucker, he made it sound like it was free. But then he wants you to pay $30 for his book that's probably just filled with the same nonsense. Chapter 1, you have to believe in yourself.
Say yes.
It's like,
yes.
Say yes to
yes,
you.
Yes. That's funny. Time management.
That is what Sanjay Gupta reminded me. He strikes me as the type of guy who wakes up in the morning and writes a list of goals for the day.
You know, the funny thing is, Sanjay kind of looks like my loan officer. Like,
maybe he's moonlighting.
Just maybe. My wife, she was wanting to know what our loan officer looked like today, and I showed her a picture, and she's like, "Oh my gosh, he looks like a douche." I was like, "Yeah." Like he could work for CNN.
Officers are.
He looks exactly like he could work for CNN.
Maybe he's one of their financial analysts, where he can explain that people who don't have a lot of money can't buy things.
It's very true.
Who knew? Who knew?
Speaking of buying things, hopefully, in the near future, I'm gonna have some actual good videos on all my mining stuff once I actually have some room to move. If I did it right here, it'd just be a little pan shot. Like, yeah, this is it. 20 graphics cards. Anyway, so
for all the crypto fans.
Yeah, right. It's all good. It's gonna be the business. I don't really have a lot.
Remember time management. Remember your time management.
All right, you watched it twice,
manifest,
so you go ahead and bring up whatever. Manifest what?
Manifest your goals. You have to believe it into existence.
You have to visualize the win.
Yeah, you have to visualize winning.
Actually,
and then do it.
There was something I was going to bring up. You brought up that real estate guy. Actually, I don't know him, but a professional skateboarder named Mikey Taylor. I don't know if he still skateboards for a living, which I'm pretty sure he owns a company or two. Actually, he's doing real estate now, and like is really good at it. And he, of course, he lives in California. So, but that was really had nothing to do with anything, but it popped in my head randomly.
I mean, a lot of people get into real estate for investment. I'm talking like they work in real estate, like as agents and whatnot.
Mm-hmm. Well, I tell you what, After looking at my real estate agent's commission, I'm just like, I'm getting my realtor's license.
But I'm telling you right now, and I don't even have it as bad as realtors do. I was going to say, I say this as respectfully as possible, but I'm not. Some of the dumbest people on planet Earth are people that are looking to buy a house, specifically first-time home buyers.
I was.
Because, I mean, well, like, there's ignorance, and that's one thing. But then there are people who think they know everything because they watch HGTV. And I mean, no, seriously, like, I've interacted with them. They're like, oh, yeah, this is the kitchen we want to do. You realize this is going to cost you like $35,000. Oh, well, we were hoping for $5,000.
Walmart's down the
Serious?
street. Lowe's is over there. You might want to build your own.
Or then, like, because again, I'm chummy with a lot of realtors, including my realtor, who's fucking awesome. I love that guy. He's funny as shit because he tells me about some of the dumbass clients he gets. Very selective with who he works with because he can be, because he works with a lot of investment property buyers, so he's pretty busy.
Mm-hmm.
So if a client's going to be a pain in his ass, it's not really worth the commission for him.
Oh, I agree.
But it's always funny hearing some of his stories, because he was telling me about a couple that sat down with him.
Gupta did get owned. And Sosa commented and said Gupta got owned. Yeah. Pretty much.
Yeah, he did. And CNN was pretending like Gupta went on there and schooled Joe, and I'm like, did you watch it?
Yeah.
I don't think you did.
I'm pretty sure I read an article that it was basically, I'm pretty sure it was CNN article, and they were basically saying that Joe was like against vaccines and this and that, and he's literally told people, get it if you need it.
But here's the problem.
He says, fix your health first.
Well, and also Joe says during the interview, he's like, there are plenty of people I urge to get vaccinated. Like, I told my parents to get vaccinated because they're older, and I have friends that are overweight and obese, and I told them to get vaccinated because they're compromised. Anyone that's immunocompromised, or even if you're concerned, like if you think it's a good idea, then get vaccinated. Like, how does that sound anti-vax? And this is a guy who wasn't even sure he wasn't going to get vaccinated until he got COVID.
Yeah, because
he talks about how because the UFC was, he talks about this, the UFC was, getting people doses of the vaccine, and ended up not working out because apparently he had to go to a hospital to get his, and he was going to be out of town. So he had scheduled it for, I think he said the week later, 1 or 2 weeks later, but in between that time, he got COVID. And then also in between that time, do what?
I think he got sick on purpose just to prove a point. Because you got to think this entire time, though. I'm not. This is obviously not true, but I'm saying that the entire time he's been advocating for health. He's like, why aren't they advocating for health? Why are they advocating for vaccine after vaccine instead of getting in the gym or getting yourself healthy? Stop eating so much.
Because frankly, getting everyone to take a vaccine is easier, and they talk about that. But as far as Joe's timeline of getting sick. He got sick, and then also in that time before he got his vaccine, he had a couple of friends who had complications, but one of his friends, who was a fighter, actually had a heart attack and 2 strokes after getting the vaccine. Now, I'm not saying, and nor did he directly say it was because of the vaccine. He just said the timing was suspect, and it made him pause and not necessarily jump on board, because we got to be careful, because YouTube's going to try to get us for
to be absolutely fair towards the vaccine and that guys, those fighters, they train like animals, like crazy, so therefore they stress their bodies, and then who knows 100%. If they use anything like that, anything extracurricular, we'll just say that, and he could.
Well, I wouldn't even go that far, because you stressed. Yeah, well, I mean, and that's just a rule for when you're sick anyway, because, like, for example, you remember when I came back for Chicago, I was sick for 2 weeks, but it's because I couldn't rest, because I kept having to go into work and fucking kill myself for 2 weeks. For about 2 weeks, I was basically going to work, coming home, and sleeping. but then the next day I would get up and kill myself again. I guarantee if I'd taken a day or two, because I mean,
you'd been fine.
Probably a day, honestly, because it wasn't a terrible cold. It was just because I couldn't rest. I guarantee if I'd taken a day, maybe two, I would have been fine because I didn't have COVID. If I had COVID, I would have been pissed because that was after I got vaccinated. Excuse me. I need to let my dog out. Talk.
You're good. Vaccine. Johnson & Johnson. If I yell loud enough, he can hear me. Hey! My wife's upstairs, so she's probably like, what the hell's going on down there?
We're finally disagreeing violently. That's what kills me. Nobody said this about us, but I'm waiting for the day to be like, well, you guys are just Republicans. It's like, nope. I mean, we've disagreed before. We just are like, yeah, it's okay.
I call myself a conservatarian.
Conservatarian? Because I'd say that's pretty accurate.
I like my money, and I like my freedom. And, I mean, obviously, most Republicans, I would naturally say, are for freedom. But I'm going to say that's to a certain degree. Now, the thing is, do they want power? Of course.
Well, and I say that because I'm remembering.
Or, I mean, they advocate for big government. Some of them do. Not all of them.
Yeah. Well, I'm also remembering. The only reason I'm hesitant to say because the Republican Party's come a long way in terms of like social freedom, but I'm remembering back in like Bush era and before Republicans who were
they've switched a bit. They've gotten more libertarian-esque.
Well, which is a good thing because I remember a time when they were like, "We don't want no gays getting married." I don't give a shit.
They don't care now. I mean, and that's the thing. In the Barack Obama and Joe Biden did not. Their first,
and again, that's true. That's true. I can't put too much heat on the Republicans because I shouldn't say a majority. There were high-level Democrats that agreed with that,
including Mrs.
There were a lot
Clinton.
of Democrats that did. Yeah, well, yeah, but Clinton's swings where the wind blows.
Well, I don't mean Bill Clinton. I mean Hillary. I never.
I'm talking about Hillary.
Recalled Bill's stance on everything. He was too busy playing the saxophone and getting blowjobs.
Well, no, I think Bill Clinton actually signed who signed the Defense of Marriage Act? I can't remember.
That was Obama.
It was Bill Clinton or Barack Obama. I can't remember.
It was Obama. Because it definitely wasn't Bush
I think you're right.
Jr.
Yeah, no, it was definitely not.
Let them get married.
Oh, no. Signed into law by President Bill Clinton, September 21st, 1996.
Nice.
Take that, leftists. It was upheld under Obama.
Okay.
And I would like to point out that Bill Weld, who ran as the Libertarian vice presidential nominee in 2016, was calling for gay marriage in 1992.
Did not know that.
The fucking libertarian, the people that CNN certainly thinks are crazy, and uber conservatives apparently.
Bill Weld, has he been a libertarian like for a long time?
I'm not sure when he switched parties. He was a Democrat for a while. Oh. If I remember, I might be misremembering that. Yeah, now you make me want to look it up. But yeah, I'll be honest too. I kind of wish Bill Weld had run as president and Gary Johnson as vice president in 2016. But I think they were going for name value.
I don't understand.
Because Bill Weld is fucking boss.
Gary Johnson didn't seem too bad. His policies were decent. I just didn't care for Joe Jorgensen's.
No. Oh no, I'm sorry. Bill Weld was not a Democrat. He was a Republican. A Republican fighting for gay marriage in 1992. But he's been a libertarian since 2016. But yeah, Bill Weld is a fucking boss. Love that dude. He would have mopped the floor with any of the VP nominations that year had he been allowed to debate.
Hey, Gary Johnson was for legalizing marijuana because remember everyone was like afraid of him for that. And I was like, oh my gosh.
Oh my God, people are going to be mellow in the streets. And
I know, right? I'm like, dude, I hate to say it like this. I'm like, look, I don't even care if you like it or not. I was like, I don't like smoking, but I'll eat an edible every now and then. But
fuck, you know how everybody knows how I feel about it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But you'll calm down.
Well, but I just don't care if you want to do it. Like,
yeah, right.
I feel the same way about alcohol and tobacco. I don't get smoking cigarettes, but hey,
Joe Rogan's all for it.
I mean, hey, I totally get alcohol. I understand it. It's just not my thing. But like, I get it. I can wrap my head around it. Cigarettes always confused me. Yeah. But it's whatever. You do you.
And that's another thing, is they're all worried about FDA and everything like this, and at the same time, I mean, and I know this is in the past, but doctors in the past were telling pregnant women to smoke to calm down. And I'm like, do you always trust them, or do you get a second opinion? It's like...
Well, we have to remember, too, this is when the tobacco companies were paying these people to publish studies.
Wait a minute. You're telling me people can pay to get... Oh.
Yeah. Tobacco companies paid scientists to... They did the same thing with fucking gasoline. You know why your gasoline says unleaded?
Because it's unleaded?
Because it took a national fucking trial to get them to take the lead out of gas when they knew it was poisoning people.
Is that what they say? Get the lead out?
Well, no, I think that's in reference to pushing on the gas pedal to go faster. But yeah, leaded gasoline was a thing until the 70s.
That's crazy.
And it was fucking killing people. And it took, oh God, I cannot remember his fucking name. Which is sad, because I should remember his name. I'm going to look it up because this guy I want to recognize him. Because he risked his career to bring these people accountable. And like, he was ostracized in the scientific community for a long time because these gas companies were paying scientists to come up with studies saying that they were only trace amounts of lead, but it didn't make any sense.
That's like people and their... Well, I mean, speaking of lead, people and their super fear of lead paint. And I'm like, while it's not good for you to breathe it, obviously don't just go trying to breathe lead paint. But, I mean, it's not really going to hurt you if you're an adult. It's actually more harmful to children in their while they're growing.
Okay, yeah, his name was Claire Patterson. Dr. Claire Patterson.
Doctor.
Yeah, and it's so weird how this happened, because it actually all started because he was hired to calculate the age of the Earth, and he was using lead as a... I'm so butchering this. Any scientist that listens to this is going to be like, you just should shut up.
Speak English, Doc. We ain't scientists.
Okay, UPB dating. So basically, he measures the lead content and compares it with the lead content of today. And wait, no, that's wrong. Carbon, I think. But you're measuring the lead volume of your samples, and that helps you calculate how old something is based on the amount of lead in it versus lead today. That's what it is. Because I want to say carbon. I am fucking this up so bad, but I don't want to read 6 paragraphs and have you wait on me. I want to say he's comparing, because basically whatever atoms he's looking for eventually deteriorate to lead. That is its stable form. So the more lead something has, the younger it is. Yeah, so if it has less lead, it's older. No. I can't remember. I'm fucking that up. But anyway, his calculations were all wrong because there was so much lead in the fucking world around him that it was throwing off his calculations. He ended up having to get into a clean room and like obscenely clean to get his results. But then he realized, why the fuck is there so much lead out here? And then he figured out it was from gasoline.
He came up with it. Get the lead out.
Get the lead out.
Son of a bitch.
Yeah. So kids,
Patterson.
just because a scientist says something and just because a government organization says something does not necessarily mean that it is true. This is why good science is always peer-reviewed and goes under rigorous scrutiny, and frankly, it takes a long time to definitively prove something.
Just like movie reviews. Rotten
100%.
Tomatoes, get out of here. Did you see the Dave Chappelle thing? At one point it had, actually I think it still has like 12%. I'm going to look that up right now. Hold on.
I'm not shocked. But have you watched the new special?
Oh, I loved it.
Oh,
And it
so
wasn't
good.
anything super shocking. That's
No.
the thing. It like 15, 20 years ago, it wouldn't even really be super funny. It's just because it's relevant, you know, like because everybody's wanting to cancel him. And Dave Chappelle even goes, I can't remember what he said, something about being canceled. He's like, I'll fucking love it. Rotten.
Well, he did say during the special, he said, this is going to be my last special
For a
until
while.
until things calm the fuck down.
Oh, now it's fixed.
Yeah, well, but they did that with Sticks and Stones, too.
Tomato meter is 43% and audience score is 95.
Actually, you're making me wonder something now. We're
Tell
getting
me.
kind of sidetracked, but
Tell me, I'll look it up.
yeah, look up the tomato on Rotten Tomatoes. Look up The Last Duel. I'm curious.
The last what?
Duel, D-U-E-L, like duel, like I challenge you to a duel.
Is it a movie?
Yes.
Matt Damon? Matt Damon, Adam Driver, and I don't think that's the movie you're looking for. These are not the movies you're looking for.
What's the tomato meter on it?
Oh, hello. Is it the one with Matt Damon?
Matt Damon.
Oh,
Yep.
This is 2021. It's 85 for Rotten Tomatoes and 81 for audience. That's fair
Fresh.
assessment. What?
Fresh rating though, not rotten.
Yeah, it's 85 and 81. So 81 is audience, 85 is Rotten Tomato. That's a fair assessment. I mean, it doesn't seem like why. What was there controversy around that one?
No, but I don't think people understand. Well, frankly, I'm not even sure I understood what it was actually trying to say, because I will say it was worth watching. It was pretty good, but it wasn't what I thought it was going to be. I think most people took it as an examination of rape culture and misogyny, but
Oh, okay.
but that's not. I mean, it's kind of what it was, but to me, it's so interesting because it's really well written. It was written by Matt Damon, because to me it seemed like it kind of explored both sides. So the basic premise is,
Dude,
I'm not going to give away the plot, but it's basically told from the perspective of three different people. And the events change drastically depending on the point of view you're being shown. But I think a lot of people watched it and thought, oh, this is great. They're calling out, rape culture, which in a way they were, but this is also medieval Europe. It was a good backdrop to explore that kind of subject in. But to me, I watched that movie and I'm like, okay, this is also kind of letting people know how good we have it in the modern day, because this shit's brutal. And I was just happy that I finally saw a historical movie that had accurate medieval combat.
People don't get it, man.
I mean, it's a good movie and it does examine that, but I don't think it was just doing that. You know what I mean? I think it was trying to kind of explore both sides of the same coin. But I'm not surprised that it's gotten a pretty high fresh rating, because some of it is a little on the nose. He's just fucking around with the filters now.
No, I mean, yes.
Oh, since we've segued, some fun fact: we have a new viewer from Tasmania, which this is kind of bullshit because it said it was Australia, but when I go for the specifics, it says Tasmania.
Who is it? You can see that right now?
Well, in the audio, not on YouTube.
Okay. Dude, stop scratching me. Like, what is it with cats and clawing into you when they're freaking, like, getting comfy?
It actually goes back to nursing.
Bitch.
So when a cat's needing you, it's comfy. It reminds him or her of their mom nursing.
hmm So, what else do we have on Gupta and
Well,
Rogan? Did you, like I
some of
said,
the
you
other
watched it twice, so I didn't.
yeah one of the other goofy things that Sanjay said. So apparently there's a thing with teenagers that get COVID. Apparently they're having a lot of COVID naps where they're just unbelievably tired all the time, and I'm just like,
They have nothing to do because they can't fucking go out anywhere.
or they're a teenager and they like to sleep. And apparently this is fucking news.
I didn't take very many naps, but I'm also
I didn't
extremely
either, but I
ADHD.
mean to say that a teenager being quote unquote tired all the time, whatever that means, is something odd. It's like, oh really? Really? Like you're automatically attributing this to COVID. You're automatically attributing this to COVID and not the fact that they're going through puberty and fucking exhausted because they're growing constantly. Damn dog. I'm making so much noise.
Mamas. I love the filters on this. These are amazing. What the fuck, man? I tell you, misogynist.
It's like the end of Animal Farm.
The fuck? And
It's like, now it is the end of Animal Farm.
Hello, darkness, my old friend. Hold on, let me get to the horrible Disturbed cover. Here comes it horrible again.
It's not horrible. It's great.
Softly
it's better than the Simon and Garfunkel version.
Oh hell no! I don't even really like the song, so I can't really say that. Well, that's the thing. I don't really care too much for the song. I just
Disturbed did it a lot better.
It was. There are some songs that should be covered, and honestly,
and Simon and Garfunkel's "Sound of Silence" is not one of those songs.
Yeah. What's another song that got covered recently? Oh, it was Five Finger Death Punch when they did Bad Company. Bad Company! I was like, eh.
The rock scene is fairly uneventful as far as I can tell compared to the late 90s, early 2000s.
Did you see that The Rock, speaking of rock and speaking of wrestlers, he's in a rap song and he actually
I saw a clip of it.
He's not bad.
Yeah, it's also never been easier.
It was kind of weird. No, like he had flow. Like it wasn't bad. I was like, did someone write that for you? Because I was like, anybody can rap, but being able to just come up with shit on top of your head. I mean, obviously that's the difference between a rapper and freestyle, but that shit it's not easy. What?
Somebody wrote that for him.
Oh yeah.
100%. And I'm not knocking the guy. It sounded, from what I heard, it sounded decent, but
well, his delivery was good. So.
Well, yeah.
I mean, it's The Rock. His delivery's always good. That sounds extremely weird.
You got a little crush on The Rock?
Samoan, man. You know what he says to his women after he's done?
Rock?
Samoan? I don't know. I'm tired.
Samoan?
Dad, that's what I was trying to say. You want Samoan? God dang it. Jeez. It's the TV.
Yeah, no, I have to apologize for the last couple of podcasts. To say that we're exhausted is kind of an understatement.
Well, for one, I am in the process of selling a house and buying another house. And I also, you saw my picture on Facebook, didn't you? I I redid one of my rigs today and
Oh yeah.
actually got it on an actual frame. So like that took me. I did it slowly, so it took me about an hour. But I got big hands, so.
No, I worked 12 hours today.
Oof.
Again.
Did you How often do you drive to what is it, Ohio, Cincinnati? Where do you?
Occasionally go to Cincinnati. Chicago's the most common.
Chicago. Okay, that's what I was thinking. Opposite.
Yeah, we do go to Cincinnati too, although that drive's not bad.
No. Although my new house is an hour and 50 minutes from Kings Island, not an hour and a half. Damn. It's okay though. I can still speed on 74.
I was gonna say you just come up 9 and hit 74, right? Or is it faster to take 65?
It is. You actually. I can't remember what road you take. All I know is on a map it goes like this, and then it connects to 74. Actually, you go to Greensburg. That's
Oh,
the
okay.
fastest route. Whatever Columbus to
That's
Greensburg.
probably, if I had to guess, it would be like 252, but I'm not sure.
No, that's further up. It's
It is further up, yeah.
when you get to off of 9 to 25th Street and to go to Columbus. Well, I mean, it doesn't say 25th Street until a little further down, but anyway, it's that road to keep going to Greensburg because we used to go to Columbus Skate Park and then we would go to Greensburg Skate Park, and because Greensburg had lights, Columbus didn't.
So that means you will actually be living, I believe, our number one city in
at one
the
point,
state of Indiana.
not anymore. Or it could be. I'm not sure.
Nope, it's number one.
Yeah, it was rated nicest and safest as well, I believe.
Oh no, I'm talking about for our listeners on the audio platform.
Oh.
Yeah,
Columbus.
Really? Columbus makes up 45% of our listeners from Indiana.
Oh, yeah, that's radio though. So, well, not radio.
Yeah,
but,
it's our audio. Followed by Indianapolis, then Noblesville, then Shelbyville, then McCordsville.
I need to see those demographics one time. That's I've yet to see those. That's awesome.
Yeah, I don't know how insanely accurate it is. And apparently most people listen to us on their computers, which is also kind of strange. But Spotify's number 2.
Probably, older people just sitting there.
I guess. Yeah, actually, yeah, because our age demographic. This is hilarious. We have no female listeners.
Misogynist bastards.
Yeah, and 57% of our audience is age 25 to 34, and then 43% is 35 to 44.
Huh?
On average. What?
Huh?
What? Although I like to think our YouTube audience is
That's where I'm moving.
different from our audio.
Number 1. Yeah, and the funny thing is everybody's going to be, if they're listening to this, they're going to be like, what the fudge are they talking about?
Well, lucky for them, they can always go to YouTube.
Exactly.
And watch the video version of this podcast.
Oh, good boy.
And gang, we're going to get back into talking about Sanjay Gupta. But first.
Yeah. Get back in there, Ben. I've got a little retarded.
You have hemorrhoids. I know I did. That's why I bought Preparation H. And on the whole, felt pretty good.
Oh, jeez. What do they say? How's that go? Sex makes your day, but anal makes your whole week.
That's a solid, just look down and groan kind of joke.
That's definitely the, I can't remember what movie it is, but everybody's slapping their forehead.
What movie is that?
I cannot remember for the life of me. I just remember at one point they were all like,
Yeah, that's kind of how I was when Sanjay whipped out that, all these kids should get vaccinated because we don't know what that virus does to the body. Like,
we don't know
you're
what the
talking.
vaccine does to a kid's body either.
Well, no, but the point was that's where he brought up the COVID naps thing. It was like they're just tired all the time. I'm like, once again, I was just like, really? Teenagers are tired? Huh. Maybe I'm wrong, but I kind of thought that was a thing before COVID ever fucking existed.
For one, do you remember being a teenager? We were always fucking busy.
Yeah, I remember being tired a fair amount.
Exactly. Like, we had to wake up early. We had to go to school all day. We were constantly interacting with people. You got to think, like, mental
fatigue is a thing.
Yeah, exactly. And we were
yesterday.
We would literally get out of school, and I mean, not me because I'm a natural crackhead, but other people would be tired and they'd want to take naps and then whatnot. And me, I just like, let's go play basketball or something like that. And you guys are like, I'm fucking tired.
I never took naps. I could never really nap unless I'm sick. I don't really sleep during the day. I can't.
Right.
I'm weird to this day, especially not as a teenager. Now, that being said, though, it was very, like, getting me up in the morning. And I'm not talking like I didn't stay up late very often, but waking up was always a bitch for me.
Sucked. I still don't.
It still does to this day. Not as bad as when I was a teenager, obviously, but
you understand you have obligations and responsibilities, so it's like you're like, I gotta get
plus you get into a routine and it gets a little bit easier. But fuck yeah, as a teenager, how many mornings was I borderline late?
Dude,
how many mornings was I late?
Once I started driving, it was over. I did not wake up early anymore. I was just
so late.
I'll get to school in 10 minutes. It's cool. And then when I moved, like right down the road from the school, I was like, oh yeah, this is awesome.
Like, what? Because what time do we have to be there by 8:10? I think.
Yeah, and I literally got up at 7:55, took a shower.
I was gonna say get up at about 8 o'clock,
and then rushed ass down to school.
Yeah, we would have both been fully capable of living next door to school and still being late in the morning.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we've derailed again.
We always do.
It's all good.
Mental fatigue is a thing. Maybe it's because we both got COVID and didn't know it, and our brains are disintegrating. Bet YouTube won't flag that for medical misinformation.
No, they'd be like, we agree. It's like we asked Rotten Tomatoes and they agree. I
wonder what our podcast score would be.
Oh God, -5.
Critics would give it 100% rotten for sure. I don't know. There might be one. There might be one out there with a sense of humor.
Jeez.
There was one. There was at least one other thing I wanted to touch on, and I'm trying to remember, but my brain's in a fog. I'm so fucking exhausted.
Or I'm gonna get some. I'm already home, but I'm gonna go get some Taco Bell, eat, and then go to bed because that's what fat people do.
Dude, I've been actually, and like I'm not proud of this, but I hadn't eaten Taco Bell for
years.
At least 2 years.
Never heard you really talk about it.
No, but here lately, I've been all about Taco Bell.
It's good.
And I need to stop.
What are you eating?
I get a quesadilla and 2 soft tacos. It's not that bad, but still.
I know, but the chicken quesadilla or steak?
Chicken.
The steak is so gross. It used to be good, but the chicken quesadilla is where it's at.
I don't think I've ever had the steak. I don't even think I think I knew in the back of my mind that they had it, but I never really think about it when I'm there.
Well, when we were kids, younger, high school, the steak was actually really good because it probably was seemingly like actual somewhat steak, but the steak nowadays is like hot dog, just like the steak.
Oh, you just reminded me. Speaking of high school, apparently, some of our old high school companions watched the show.
Yeah, you told me that. I forgot.
That was surreal.
Yeah, I
was not expecting that.
I was like, we are not interesting. No, I'm just kidding. Sometimes we can be, but
not lately.
No, we've been.
Well, no, and the fact was like it would have been one thing if I'd been talking about it, but I literally like I didn't bring it up.
Someone brought it up to you.
Yeah, someone brought it up to me,
because you made it to the reunion. I did not.
Yeah, and that's what I was gonna say. We had little get together for the 15-year high school reunion. Dude, you should have made it. I know you had to work, but it would have been cool. But anyway, and I mean, you know who I'm talking about. I just don't want to out him without, like, I don't want to mention his name without, him saying it's cool.
We know who
not
it
that we're,
is.
yeah, we know you know who it is, because I think I told you, like, the next day I was like, dude, that was interesting. But yeah, oh, there you go, representation.
Oh, jeez.
Not really sure what the brown part's for, but hey.
I like this one better.
Oh, there you go. I am not a crook.
It's not working. There we go. It won't do it like this. It blurs my fingers.
You gotta put it on your face.
It literally looks like a movie. Oh, jeez. Anyway.
That's the point. That crowd's awful silent. They're not going to rate you too highly on Rotten Tomatoes.
So, yeah.
This movie sucks.
Gupta was paid by CNN, obviously, because he is paid by CNN because he's CNN medical analyst. But he
That sounds like a CNN. That sounds like a CNN headline. CNN commentator paid by CNN to talk about something on CNN.
Everybody just reads it, and it confuses them, but they don't question it because it's on CNN.
This is CNN.
Your next news network. Actually,
I
don't like that guy. Gary Franchi.
I know that Don Lemon had something to say about it after the fact. Oh, God, I cannot stand that motherfucker.
Don Lemon? He's such a baiter.
He's a baiter?
Yeah, I'm not going to mention the other word. I don't want to get us in trouble. No. Starts with an R, ends with an E. Race car. He's a race car baiter.
What?
Takeaway car.
Oh.
Listen, dude. Listen to Jerry Maguire because I look good on a fucking big screen. I'm just saying. If everyone was watching me right now, I know they'd be crying. It's so good. I just like looking at it. Why, Karen?
Yeah, so
why are you leaving me? Karen, why are you always such a bag of douche?
Oh, God, that reminds me. It was the insult that I was the most proud of in my life is when I referred to my sister as a sack of bitch.
Oh, did she? That's very true. That's very true.
It's okay. She doesn't watch.
She tried to kill me.
Like, literally? Or because technically I tried to kill you. Oh, no, you're talking about the truck. No, I wasn't driving. I didn't try to kill you. She did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, yeah.
She totally tried to kill you.
We were in the back of the truck, and she hit a big bump, and I almost flew out. And then I landed on a fucking tree trunk that stabbed me.
Yeah, I'm not sure why that was in there.
I don't know.
But yeah, that was back when you were allowed to ride in the back of a pickup truck.
They should have just named her Karen. Nah, she wasn't really Karen. She's actually pretty laid back, for the most part.
I don't know. We still don't really see eye to eye. We kind of have a.
Isn't she taller than you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Most people are.
So you don't really see eye to eye. No, I'm just kidding.
I
always forget. Like, when I'm talking to someone, generally, I try to stand back away from them, so it doesn't seem intimidating. But like, if I get up on somebody and then I'm just looking down at them, you know.
Yeah, you're like Joe Rogan and Sanjay Gupta.
Is he taller? Joe Rogan's not tall at all. He's like 5.
Joe Rogan's shorter than me.
Yeah, he's like 5'6".
I thought he was 5'8", but I know he's shorter than me by a little bit, which I thought was strange.
Is Gupta really tall?
Oh, I have no fucking idea. He looks like a wee lad.
He is a wee lad.
He is a wee lad. Speaking of which, apparently they're gonna try to remake Highlander.
There can only be one.
Right? I know.
You're not gonna get past was it Christopher Lambert?
Yeah.
Is that okay? Yeah. No. Not gonna
Don't
work.
touch Highlander.
That's like
How? Why? Why would you remake Highlander? Just re-release it again.
that's like trying to redo the TV series Hercules without Kevin Sorbo. Doesn't work.
Why would you?
That's an amazing series, by the way.
It's not bad.
It is amazing for what it was back in the day. That was like early 90s.
What network was that on? Was that UPN? No, I know there were reruns on UPN. I'm trying to remember.
It wasn't.
It wasn't.
It
It
wasn't
wasn't
HBO
network. It was
like that.
cable.
Yeah, it was. I can't remember.
I heard about it
That was a
not
good
long
one.
ago.
That was a really good one. I loved
It wasn't bad.
I loved it. Like, but nowadays I can't stand anything medieval.
Well, good thing it wasn't medieval.
You know what I mean, dickhead.
Yeah, Good thing that it was. Good thing that it was set in ancient Greece and not medieval Europe.
Biblical. Actually, even further than that.
Pre-biblical, yeah. God, I'm trying to remember the other thing because this is just devolved. Because again, I don't have notes. I'm pretty sure that we both just have major ADD.
Yeah.
And without writing shit down, it's hard for me to stay on task. Plus, I'm tired. I'm
Well,
not on it.
once everything gets set up and whatnot, which we will actually
We'll be
have
cranking out a
bigger
lot of
garage.
content for you guys next year.
Yeah, and like I said, I'll have a bigger garage and a budget.
Well,
So
and
I
not
can
only
get some
that,
better
we've talked about this before, and I'm not going to give it away, but you'll know what I'm talking about. You and I got to talk about that little business idea I had for you, the consulting gig thing.
Oh, for building these things.
Yeah.
I mean,
So I'm telling you, dude.
I already know. Well, I wouldn't even have. It wouldn't even have necessarily be a consulting thing. I could literally just build them and sell them.
Well, I know, but you could also consult as well.
True.
Because I will say, and I sing your praises on this, not blowing smoke up your ass, but literally, like, you impressed the hell out of me because you went from not knowing really much of anything about this shit, and I would say, what, in 2-3 months?
Pretty much. I mean, I've always been tech savvy, but at the same
Yeah,
time,
I know,
I
but
had no idea like how this worked, and I just went down a rabbit hole, and now I'm 20 graphics cards deep, and I'm about to have a couple ASIC miners, and then I've got 18 more graphics cards on back order. Now they're from shopblt.com, so who knows when I'll get them. But
right,
I'm
but
paying close to
they're
MSRP, so I don't really give a shit, and I don't have to pay for them until they ship. I know they're LHR,
Yep.
but at the same time, they're gonna make really good money. And if for anyone watching, LHR means low hash rate, because they try to say they hate they want to get cards into the hands of gamers, but at the end of the day, they know they're gonna sell more to miners, and guess what? They're just gonna make more money because they're gonna buy more cards.
right.
Whatever, make
Because
money.
the gamer needs one, right?
That's it. And a miner,
Yeah.
you know, I would prefer to have 300 cards. Just saying.
Right.
Sorry to anyone who games. I mean, I game too. I have a 3080 in my PC, and I play Call of Duty every now and then when I'm not buying and selling houses.
But you're managing your time because your miners are making money
Exactly.
while you sleep.
I'll tell you what, they've been paying for all kinds of stuff. I didn't even have to put any of my own money down towards the earnest money.
Yeah, although that's only what's that, $1,000, or did you put down
25.
higher percentage? Okay, so yeah, you put down
$275,000 house, but it's also
oh no, so you put down 1%, roughly. Yeah,
maybe.
yeah, that'd be 1%. Earnest is usually about 1%.
We offered 1,000, but then they came back with 2,500. I was like, all right. I was like,
That's
I'll just
so fucking dumb, though. I've never understood that because every time,
you're gonna get your
every
money
time,
as long as financing's there.
yeah, exactly. You're not gonna get it. So who gives a rat's ass?
Oh, dude, these it's an elderly couple, and they I'm gonna assume they built the house in '77, but you gotta think they've probably had that house paid off for 15, 20 years.
Oh, they're gonna make bank.
Oh, and you know they only paid $25,000, $30,000, maybe $40,000 for that house.
Yeah, even if it was an expensive custom built for the time, they're walking away with a pretty penny.
It is
Like,
a
I cannot
custom, by the
believe
way.
it isn't or is.
It is.
Oh yeah, I'm sure in the 70s it was pretty well. They hadn't really started doing the cookie cutter houses quite yet.
Yeah, and I'm actually very excited to get away from that because we were that other house that I showed you. That was a cookie cutter house, but it was also 2003, so not.
Well, it looked like they'd added on to it. Yeah.
Yeah, the other one. Yeah, it was decent, but it just needed some work, and I was like, they were asking way too much. Like, they were wanting
Well,
315.
unfortunately,
I know housing market's crazy right now, but
yeah,
they were asking
unfortunately, right now you
315.
can't.
Well, but the thing is, at the end of the day, it has to appraise.
Right, but what a lot of appraisers are taking into account now is not all, and again, it has to be within reason. But like for example, I'll use my house as an example. I paid. It's not important. I paid 96,000 for mine, but that included the attached lot.
Yeah, which is awesome because that's going to help
But
you
my
get started.
but my house is appraising for. It depends on who does it, but like the estimates that I've gotten are it's appraising for anywhere between like 94 to 115, depending on who's evaluating it. But again, that's just the house. That's not
Whoa.
including.
Was your house like completely rehabbed?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I was gonna say because I was looking at some pictures. It was on Google Maps, and it looked pretty bad. And they were older pictures before you bought it. There was like
Oh
a
yeah, I
busted
didn't
out
see.
window, and it was boarded up. And I was like, I'm sure I was like, no way he bought it like that.
No, it was funny because the seller kind of got shafted by a couple people because it was pretty obvious he was trying to just fix it up and unload it quick. And apparently he had a buyer, but the deal fell through. But this was after he agreed to put a privacy fence up.
Oof.
But they put a privacy fence up around the house and around the lot.
That's not cheap. Is it a decent sized yard?
Oh yeah, it's especially for this area, it's not bad.
Do you guys do you share the backyard though? With the
There's a privacy fence going down the middle.
Oh, nice. So there's a privacy fence around the whole thing, and then one going down the middle.
Yep.
Wow, that's costly.
Well, I think he did it himself, but I mean, it's still standing. It's not like he did a bad job, but because you had to pay to have that done, holy shit.
Yeah, believe me, I had a chain link fence put up here, and it cost me like, you've seen my backyard. It's not giant, but it's also not small. But it's I think it cost me $3,200, which really isn't horrible. Chain link fence will last a lot longer.
Yeah.
And then they didn't even use concrete. They literally had like big long ass poles in this thing, and just and pushed it all the way down on the ground. That's crazy. Sound effects, people. All right. What else you got?
Yeah. I'm trying to remember. I can't fucking remember. Basically, the whole thing. It's just, once again, this is a perfect example of like most people would have already made up their mind before they listen to this thing, and CNN pretty well proves it. Because even Sanjay Gupta, after the podcast, is on CNN talking about the podcast, and he's agreeing with them when they're saying stuff like, "Well, Joe Rogan is, telling people not to get vaccinated."
Nope.
And I'm like, motherfucker, you were there. That's not what he said.
You know what? We got dinged for medical misinformation. I know CNN has their own network, so it's kind of hard.
So you want to know something funny? I actually flagged a CNN clip where they were talking about Joe Rogan taking horse dewormer for medical misinformation.
And it should be fucking flagged.
It should be. It's a fucking lie. And we didn't even lie. Like, we might have made a mistake. I can't think of what we would have said that was incorrect, or at least not labeled as speculation. But like, what they were doing was flat out lying.
Joe Rogan
and over something. Well, and Joe made the point too. He was like, "Why would you lie about something so stupid? Why would you lie about a comedian and the medication he's taking?"
Right. My brother, Stoner Bros Presents, He says, you have video proof of his delusional answer, and the left still can't take a hint. It's so ludicrous. I'm like, yeah, absolutely.
Exactly. That's the point. And it's like anybody, I can believe that nobody at CNN watched the damn thing, or at least not in its entirety.
No,
probably
they
saw
did. They're just like, makes sense. He's right. Obviously.
No, I'm talking about what they're saying about Joe, about how he's anti-vax. It's like he literally said on this program that there are many people that he would encourage to get vaccinated. His issue is that there's information that is still unknown about the side effects for certain people of these vaccines. And he admits he doesn't know, but there's been enough, he's seen enough, and he's heard and read enough that warrants concern. And he said they were talking about teenage boys in particular, because there was a study he read that basically postulates, and again, I have to be careful how I word this so that we don't get flagged. The study that he talked about, it was my understanding, because I didn't look at the study, but it basically says something to the effect of, at least in the sample group that they looked at, a person was more likely to develop myocarditis after getting the vaccine than they would statistically from getting infected with COVID. Right. Now, he and Sanjay disagreed on the particulars, but here's the point, and this is the point he was trying to make, and I don't think Sanjay understood, is that even if there's a doubt, and it's what I've been saying about COVID from the beginning, if you're young and healthy, the risk-reward ratio to getting the vaccine is different than if you're immunocompromised, than if you're older, if you have a pre-existing condition that could be exacerbated by COVID. It's different for everyone. Like, this is not a case of, I've used this example so many times, but I keep having to say it. You know, if this was an Ebola outbreak we were talking about, who the fuck wouldn't get that vaccine?
Oh yeah, because we know for a fact it will kill you if you get it. I mean, obviously, if you're not treated, you know.
Well, 'cause I think the mortality rate for Ebola is probably like, what, 80%?
Oh yeah, it's high. It's not like
it's at least 50. It's at least 50. I'm sure it's higher.
You get COVID for the most part. I mean, it's just kind of like, oh, well, let me see what the symptoms are going to be before I decide anything. Ebola, it's like you get that, you're like, fuck, where's the doctor? Well, I mean, obviously you're not doing anything because you're probably in a coma.
Ebola kills between 25 and 90% of those infected, so about a 50% average. So that's great. But yeah, so if it has a 50% survival rate, fuck yeah, I'm getting that vaccine.
Yeah, but there's a
0.5%?
What's the treatment for Ebola?
0.5%. A 0.5% when we don't even know if COVID is actually what's killing directly, or if it's just making certain conditions worse. And the thing of it is, we don't know.
It's I think it exacerbates.
I think it does too.
Not saying it doesn't, not kill them, but the thing is, whatever they have, it makes it worse.
Yeah, it
doesn't really make it worse. It depletes their immune system, and then when your immune system is depleted, that's like all the overworked nurses in the wards. They were getting sick with COVID, and it's like everyone's like, it's because it's so blah blah blah. It's which it is extremely contagious, but at the same time, it's like they're also overworked and tired, and they're depleting their immune system, so therefore they're going to get it, and it's probably going to be bad because their immune system is depleted. I mean,
and now we're firing them for not getting vaccinated.
It's an easy deduction, and people just don't want to fucking do the work. It's like, think. You were given one gift.
Well, and this administration is doing what, frankly, because I'm not going to say only Democrats do it, because Republicans do it too, but Democrats seem to do it more often and in gloriously more fashion. They are more obsessed with a particular solution than they are with solving the problem. Because let's look at this purely from a logical standpoint. We have a vaccine. Now, the efficacy of said vaccine is not 100% known. We don't know how effective it is necessarily, because we're already talking about some people getting boosters.
Yeah.
So the efficacy of this vaccine is at least sketchy. It's not 100% known. So, and add to the fact that there are more than a small amount of people that are hesitant to take said vaccine because so little is known about it. Now, instead of I guess for lack of a better word, and instead of digging your heels in and saying no, vaccine or nothing, why don't we look at an option of, because again, they talked about this in here. I said in the very beginning, I believe I said it on this podcast, that they're focusing on the wrong shit. Testing is more important than anything, because if nobody is sick, nobody's going to get sick. If you can test and know if you're contagious and take appropriate action, that's just as viable, especially since there have been breakthrough cases with people who are vaccinated. Colin Powell just died. Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, due to complications with COVID. Granted, and he's 84.
But he was also vaccinated.
Yes, he was, but he got COVID.
And the thing is, they're recommending that for elderly to get vaccinated, and then Colin Powell dies, even though he was vaccinated. And I'm assuming, I can't remember quite what he looked like or his health, but I mean, I'm assuming he wasn't in horrible condition.
No, I mean, but he was 84, and I guess he had some issues, but I mean,
that's the thing.
But again,
they need to come out with not demographics. They need to come out with age-specific studies showing who is really super at risk, because obviously, you got kids masked up in schools, and they're probably going to start forcing vaccines on them and letting your dog in. Anyway, so they have they're going to go for forced vaccinations of children. And
which is what they were talking about.
And we don't know the effects, on a developing body. It's like we already shove how many vaccines in kids before the first year? Like 12, or it's like almost 20. It's a lot.
And
I know. I have 2 kids.
Well, and there's a convolution that the far left is making, that people who are hesitant about the COVID vaccine are automatically anti-vaccine, and that's just not fucking true.
Nope.
Because I'm very pro-vaccine. My only issue is that, first of all, again, the Ebola example, if this was an Ebola vaccine, we wouldn't be talking about mandates, because anyone with half a brain would be like, yeah, I'm going to get that vaccine because I'd rather not have my insides liquefy while I'm still alive. But that concern goes down quite a bit when the prospect of your generally healthy younger person is like, it's probably going to be a mild cold if you have symptoms at all. Oh, and by the way, this vaccine is brand new. It's been in production for less than a year, not even FDA approved, because I think one of them is now or is going to be. But at the time, not even approved by the FDA. They got pushed through with the emergency authorization. I'm probably going to take my chances with the cold, especially since now there's a lot of evidence to suggest that natural immunity is stronger than the vaccine immunity.
Well, they say that the Pfizer vaccine is FDA approved, but I was told it's certain ingredients that are in it that are approved by the vaccine. I don't know if that's true.
I think Pfizer was the one that was up for FDA approval. I'm just not sure when that happened or when that was supposed to happen. I think it has already happened.
But political commentators who are, very popular, I'm not going to say any names, but they were discussing that, saying that it was only certain things within the vaccine that were actually FDA approved, and they went ahead and approved the push forward with what was that thing you just called? The right to try whatever that was. The
emergency authorization?
Thank you. Yeah, that. So
I know, but I mean, one of the vaccines I believe has been FDA approved.
Pfizer.
Yeah, Pfizer's been FDA approved.
According to
again, yeah, it's been one of them, but I digress. And I say again, why are they not leading with the fact that Johnson & Johnson is a traditional vaccine?
Adenovirus, yeah, I agree with you there. But at the same time, the Johnson & Johnson was causing blood clots in pregnant women in the legs.
Sparingly, yeah. It was statistically small numbers, but yeah, and again, it's
No,
a
yeah.
concern.
It was actually small, but you know,
Again, it's a concern, but like again, like the
I heard
point that
someone say they
we
got the Moderna. I was like, you're fucking brave. I was like, you got
well, I mean,
Johnson
it's just
Johnson.
like
It's a typical vaccine, and then you got Pfizer, which, you know, supposedly is FDA approved.
that wasn't at the time, but yeah, I mean, I just like I don't know why you would want two shots when you can get one.
I agree, and for the most part, I mean, most vaccines are one-shotters. I mean, not all of them, but you know, most of them.
Well, my favorite argument is like, well, you get a tetanus booster. Listen, tetanus is a different animal
You don't want
because
gangrene.
literally you get a tetanus booster when you step on a rusty nail.
You do not want
And
gangrene.
no, well, and that, so I guess the best example I could put it compared to a
Granulations.
COVID vaccine, and again, I'm not a doctor, but I
Just
would
plays
imagine
one
that would
on
be some,
TV.
yeah, well, on just on the internet that one time. I
Listen,
love that
dude.
running joke because
Listen, dude. You may be on TV, but I'm in the movies. Yeah, I know. It's because you're watching a
fuck.
good movie.
Oh no, tetanus. No, because like, okay, so because again, I got a tetanus shot, the regular one, but then I had to get a tetanus booster because my stupid ass stepped on a rusty nail. And the best equivalent I could say is like, let's say you got your COVID vaccine, and yeah, you might need a booster if someone who is infected with COVID pushes you down to the ground, pries your mouth open, and spits down your throat.
Sounds sexy.
Yeah, then maybe you might need a COVID vaccine. It's like, no, tell me I'm worthless.
Yeah, but at the same time, those the virus is going to be in your system before the vaccine takes efficacy.
Well, right, but you're getting a booster just to boost it because
Oh, gotcha. Okay, my
you
bad.
theoretically have your immunity, but the booster just gives you a little bit. Because like theoretically, you already have I'm not gonna you already have protection from tetanus, but that's one of those things where it's like, you might want to get some extra just to make sure your foot doesn't fall off. It makes sense.
Unless you're diabetic.
Well, then you're fucked.
There's a lot of people that just don't take care of themselves and they like literally end up with no feet and shit like that. And I'm like, dude, put the Mountain Dew down.
Well, that you're talking about type 2 there.
I know, but
It happens to type 1 people. Just
you get what I'm talking about.
yeah, no, I get what you're
People
saying.
not taking responsibility for their health. It's like I'm lactose intolerant, but I have these wonderful pills right here that are called dairy relief. And I can eat cheese. I can't drink milk, that's for sure. I love milk. I used to love milk. Growing up, dude, I'd drink a gallon every 3 days. I literally had a cow.
No.
I've tried I've tried any milk you can think of. I can't even drink Lactaid. Well, because Lactaid, all it really is, when you break it down, everyone thinks that Lactaid is lactose-free milk, but it's actually milk with like I can't show it to you. It's milk with dairy relief in it because
Copyright.
it makes it chocolate or it makes it chalky, you know. And it's like I know what these taste like, so they added medicine to it. Like it's not just regular milk because my daughter she drinks Lactaid. Not that she's not even lactose intolerant, dude. She just prefers the taste. We thought she was, and then she just she grew
He
up
just
with
likes to taste better.
yeah. I'm just like, oh, baby, it's so nasty. I was like, well, whatever. Hey, it mixes well with chocolate syrup. Sugar free, too. Good. If you like chocolate
Yep.
milk.
That's how
Anyway.
you do it.
All right, I've got
Um,
72 degrees on these things, so we need to. I've got
wrap it up.
I got my fans turned off, so.
Okay.
I thought I
Yeah,
could leave
we're
it. I know, but I thought I could leave it running. But I was literally looking at it. I'm sitting at 72 degrees for one. It's a silicon battery. Silicon lottery. What do they call it? You know, where they make the graphics cards and chips and whatnot. You know, the thing is, you can get a graphics card, which you'll find this out in the future. But you can get a graphics card that actually performs better than another one because of its how it was put together, all that fun stuff. I won't bore anybody with that.
Maybe next week. We should see when we can get Sosa on, and I know that Cody wants to come on again, but I think he's super swamped too.
I'm going to say that for the next, I'm going to say 2 months, because we do not close on that house until December 10th. I don't know if I told you that. Probably going to be real disarray here, so it's going to be hard to do. So I think for the next 2 months, we're probably gonna have to do this Zoom, which I don't even mind it. It's actually pretty decent.
I like doing it in person, given the choice. But yeah, this isn't bad.
Right. Well, and then I think once we get to the point to where I'm over there, then we will go to trying to get those guys back on, because I think it would be a mess having 3 of us on the Zoom call.
I don't know. We've done it before. I'm down the middle. It's fine.
Have you done? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we've had a few guests. Oh, and then we did. Oh no, I guess when we did it with Cody, it was technically 2 of us. But no, it actually makes it pretty easy.
Okay. All right.
But anyway, I know Sosa wants to come on, but I kind of feel like we should wait until there's something relevant.
No. Sosa comes on, we're talking Dragon Ball.
Well, I know, but like, there's nothing.
We can talk about everything.
But I mean, like, there's a new Super movie coming out at some point, but I think that's next year.
I don't know. That's speculation. I haven't seen anything in stone.
Okay, we'll talk about Dragon Ball, and then we'll have him on again when something Dragon Ball related happens.
Or, yeah, he loves politics too, so
we can we'll just have it.
Shoot
Sosa, shooting the shit with Sosa.
There we go.
There we go. So I mean, I don't have a way to contact him, but you make that happen.
Yeah.
But what I was going to say is that if, like, for next week, if we don't have those guys on, maybe we just kind of, I don't know, do another shooting the shit episode, because that seems to be what we devolve into anyway.
Well, he and Cody have actually met before, because they both live in Texas, which I think you said Cody's moving.
He wants to move. I don't know if he's moving yet, right. But
yeah, I was gonna say, hell, we could have a 4-way.
There you go. We have a 4-way shooting the shit with Sosa and
Cody, the unlicensed thinker. So that would be pretty cool, actually.
We're either gonna get into some super deep shit or just nonsensical bullshit.
Yeah.
And I still do, for our anniversary show, I want to have every guest we've ever had.
Oh yeah, that'd be fun.
On the same, and I mean, I think a Zoom meeting would be the easiest way to do it.
Mm-hmm. Obviously, we'd be in person, but
yeah, but I mean, fuck, that's what, 3 guests if we get Sosa on by then.
Yeah, right. I actually have another guy. I don't know how this will work, but he's I'm gonna say fairly left leaning. And I think it would be very.
Okay.
I think it'd be very fun to have opposite opinions, because the thing is, if there's one thing I like doing is defending my opinion.
I mean, the Average Intelligence Podcast can't always be telling the truth all the time. We got to have a differing opinion on here. Yeah. If you're right all the time, it's no fun.
Did you hear about Trump's social media? Social media.
Oh God!
It's going to be released next month. I guarantee a lot of people are going to go to it, just because if they don't moderate like they're doing with Facebook and whatnot, which Facebook is apparently going to change their name. Did you hear about that?
No.
They're supposedly going to call it. Can't remember. It's like something media.
Not a very catchy name.
No, it's trash. I was like, Facebook is a catchy name, but they're getting a lot of backlash from it, and they are not like doing as well as they were. I mean, remember when Facebook went down? Was it 2 weeks ago?
Yeah. Yep.
Zuckerberg lost like $1 billion.
Yeah, but
it was in stocks. But the thing is, they can go right back up. So really, did we lose money?
Well, think about it too. It's a liquid asset anyway. So he really didn't lose anything.
Yeah,
He lost
that's
it
what
on
I meant.
paper.
Yeah. So, but
But
just
but
like
also, let's be real. What's $1 billion to Mark Zuckerberg?
supposedly they're talking about getting a new CEO as well. And I'm just like, he's not the problem. It's
No,
the
he's
whole
not the
entity.
problem.
He's a part of the problem, but he's not the problem. Jeez. All right.
Well, I think the main problem is that Facebook and Twitter have become sources of news. When the fuck did that happen, and who thought that was a good
To
idea?
be fair, they do have, well, they do not need to moderate anything anyone posts unless it's like a direct threat. Past that, I don't care what you say.
Right.
You know, but when somebody's sharing a news article, I don't need commentary. I don't need when someone shares a fucking post, I don't need saying this is fake. You know, because the thing is, anyone who's smart enough should do their own due diligence and research it.
The problem is people are not doing their due diligence, and if they see it in print, they're just like,
But
it's real.
But at the same time, they have other friends who will call them out and be like, "Did you read the article?"
Well, yeah, but unfortunately, most people have friends that are in an echo chamber.
Yeah.
So if you see, if you and your friends are all left leaning, and you see a post about how Trump's a dumb motherfucker and said some stupid shit, like told people to inject bleach in their arm, for example, you just go, "Oh my God, I can't believe Trump told people to inject bleach in their arm," except he fucking didn't.
Yeah, I know. And it's funny is like, you people are making us defend him.
I don't want to defend Donald Trump. I don't.
It's not. I don't hate the guy. I actually liked how he talked and whatnot, because the rest of America at the time, 2016, they were fed up with politicians, and that's why he won. You know.
If you'd like to hear additional commentary on that, you can go back and watch some of our earliest episodes.
Yeah.
Actually, I believe we covered that immensely in the first 3.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I think episode 3 in particular, we really touched on that. How Trump was a reaction to the establishment basically writing off the middle of the country as just a bunch of fucking dumb hicks.
You know, the funny thing is, I didn't even really root for Trump in 2016. The only thing why I started being an advocate for him was simply just because I was doing it out of spite towards other people I worked with, and then
Really?
I know, right? And I started reading I started reading policies and listening to some talking points and what he wanted to do, and I was like, well, that just makes sense. I was like, oh, he doesn't like speak properly, or he eats McDonald's. I'm like, he's seemingly like he's a billionaire, but he's a fucking normal guy. Supposedly, and then the whole grabbing him by the thing. I'm like, okay.
Okay, but let's be and this is what makes people. We'll touch this and then we'll wrap it up. This is what makes people uncomfortable. But
we'll touch this and wrap it up. You dirty man.
No, but there are a lot more people that talk that way than we care to admit. It doesn't mean they're fucking serious. People say a lot of stupid shit. We're not some of these people. I just want to put that out there because, again, we got to remind YouTube.
Appease the elder gods.
But we've heard it.
Oh, yeah. Oh, God, yeah.
But it's also not as common as a lot of women think. But I guess
honestly, when it comes to that, women are pretty bad too.
Oh, they're 10 times worse. 100 times worse. And they don't believe us when we tell them this. They're like, oh, locker room talk. I'm like, I don't know what locker rooms you're hanging out in, but any locker room I've ever been in, everybody just eyes front, get changed, and get the fuck out.
Yeah, because everybody's trying to keep their eyes to themselves, by accident.
Yeah, it's kind of like the urinal rule. That's why every time in a movie when two dudes are talking to each other at a urinal, I'm like, what the fuck? This isn't even close to accurate. First of all, they wouldn't be standing right next to each other.
Right.
If they can avoid it.
That was a good movie. Oh, shut the fuck up, dude. I'm pissed.
Okay, the only exception is when you have 4 idiots at Kings Island and the bathroom is packed anyway. and we're just trying to make somebody laugh.
Dude, there was 80 people in there, so I was like,
Kings Island's a lost cause.
I tried to do the one stall rule, but it just did not happen.
It just doesn't work.
Nope.
But we just basically spent the whole day trying to make each other laugh.
Yeah, and funny thing is, we were packed shoulder to shoulder in Kings Island. You know, everybody came out fairly okay and didn't get sick. Just saying.
And all that must have been all that UV light.
Oh yeah, maybe the bleach on the chairs.
Yeah, totally. I knew licking that counter was a good idea.
It was.
I could taste the immunity. And then when I woke up, I felt even better.
All right. Well, I think that's a good stopping point.
Well, we talked about Rogan and Gupta a little bit.
We tried. Well, the thing is, like, there wasn't like a whole big section to go off that. That's why I said when I messaged you and you messaged back, I was like, we'll probably touch on the COVID stuff too, because obviously.
Oh yeah, it kind of goes hand in hand. But we're shamelessly just trying to get the views.
You could just talk 24/7 about it because it's not going to go anywhere anytime soon, and because they're not letting it. You know, I keep seeing final thought. I keep seeing people saying that COVID caused businesses to shut down. I'm like, no, it did not.
No,
leaders.
The government did that.
Your leaders did that. I was like, don't get me wrong. There could have been precautions put in place. You know, they could have said only so many, this and that. You know, and then still open, so these people didn't lose their livelihoods. But I digress. Anyway,
get your fans back on.
Yeah, right.
Make that money so that the next time there's a global pandemic and we have to stay home, we're just like,
okay,
cool.
Yeah, right. That's what I'm saying. That. And on top of that, Columbus has a skate park.
There you go.
So I can actually get fit now, the fun way. Oh shit.
All right. Well.
All right.
That's been another episode of the Average Intelligence Podcast. Thank you for tuning in. As always, you can check out all of our past episodes on YouTube and Spotify and the other various audio platforms. You can also check out our official merchandise store down below. We have some really cool shirts on it. In fact, there is one that is helping AOC in her crusade to tax all the rich people, because the more shirts you buy, the richer we get.
Please. All righty. Well.
Please.
Good night. God bless.